Is it like the late reaction of the chemicals that after his retirement he got it? Now who's to be blamed? When you fall sick while you're working in the industry or the factory or the company, that is what occupational hazard is. It's all about the viruses, the bacteria, the fungi which is there in the industries which will cause you sick, and these are called the biological hazards. Now if it was a human being who was supposed to do it, within 18 seconds he cannot assemble a mobile. Hello everybody, a warm welcome to one and all. I'm Vidhyaashram from the Department of Commerce and Management in Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence. Welcome to all the students for this session. Now here in this session, we're going to discuss more about the health and why the employees require a healthy atmosphere in the organization, plus why industrial health should be taken the utmost care. So what exactly the topic is? Today's topic is industrial health. So we'll understand that what is industrial health, why do we are supposed to give that health as a priority, because here you need to know life is lived once and we are supposed to respect that, and we are supposed to always take utmost care of all the employees and the laborers' health into our consideration. So here when we go with industrial health, we'll understand that as a HR manager, we are supposed to give priorities to the health. So we need to avoid the occupational hazards, because while working itself, the health of the employees or the laborers will come down. That means what? There are so many factors which will make sure that they will fall sick. So these type of industrial health, if we take precaution as a HR manager, as well as if we take a precaution as a human being, then it will be very helpful for both of us, that is the employer as well as the other colleagues. So what exactly industrial health is all about? So industrial health in the sense what? It improves the quality of health as well as it improves the morale of the employees. Now when you are happy, when you are healthy, what happens is the productivity is increased. When you are sick and you cannot do your work properly, or you cannot even stand in your own legs. Now what happens is, on your legs, when you cannot stand on your legs, then what happens is you can't work for the organization, as well as you cannot be a person who is healthy to come to the occupation also. So that means your health is your prime motto. That means you need to take care of you and your family being healthy. So industrial health improves the morale of employees, and recently when we go with this study of industrial health, we got to know that there are n number of reasons why people will fall sick. If not today, but after a month or after a year or after a decade, they will fall sick because of the health issues which were neglected in the industries. Say one of the example in UP, Uttar Pradesh, we have come across saying that there was a person called Vidhyaashram. Now he was working for a chemical industry. 20 years of experience in chemical industry, and later he got retired. When he got retired, after 2 years, he got to know that he have cancer. Now, and that was a last stage of cancer. When they gone for the record that how come he got cancer. Now see, he was not a person with regular alcohol or smoking or tobacco, nothing. But why it happened? The reason, where he was working, that factory was a chemical industry, and they used to go with tannic acids and other type of acids which they were dealing with it. That led him to the cancer. Now the question is, who is to be blamed? Is it the industrial health, which knew that if we use these kind of chemicals, we are supposed to insure our people? Or is it like the late reaction of the chemicals that after his retirement he got it? Now who's to be blamed? But life is a life, isn't it? Now, recent years have witnessed a rapid increase in the use of sophisticated machinery and plants in the industry. Now, why do they use sophisticated industrial materials or the machines? The reason is we need to avoid accidents. We need to minimize accidents in the organization. See, accidents will happen. Where human are there, accidents will happen, but we need to avoid it. We need to minimize it. We need to control these accidents. While technical progress in industry has made it possible to eliminate certain physical existing jobs. Now, in many of the industries, if you go with it, say example, Hero company, where for every 18 seconds, the machines will manufacture or the machine will actually align a two-wheeler, motorbikes. Now what is the strategy here? They are using what? The technical progress. Now if it was a human being who was supposed to do it, within 18 seconds, he cannot assemble a motorbike. Now understand, this is the beauty of industrial health, where people are getting educated and they know that when machine can do it, why is that we are going with humans? So let's go with the machine so that the reduction or minimize of accidents will happen, so that no human will be hurt. But the drawback is different, that is, machines are being replaced, humans are also replaced. Now machines are replaced with sophisticated other machines. Humans are replaced with sophisticated machines. That is what the demerit is. But still, I'll tell you, you are using sophisticated technologies and machines and the techniques which are used in the industry, so that the occupational hazards are less in the industry. So when we go with that, what are the types and why do we need industrial health? The first one is all about, it will definitely improve productivity of employees. Productivity will be there through the employees. You are healthy, you will work better. You are not healthy, you will not work better. And one more thing, your absenteeism can be reduced. Say in that particular organization, if we take an example of the pandemic itself, everybody are going with work from home kind of concept here. Now why this thing is that? Because of industrial health, to take care of the industrial health. If you all come together, if you all work together, if somebody gets a positive of COVID-19 now, that person can spread this to everybody and everybody will fall sick. So instead, we are supposed to take care of ourselves first. That is what the indemnity is all about. So when you go with the employees here, you need to understand, only when you are proper, only when you are healthy, you feel like doing something good or you feel like doing it better. But you are not healthy, you are sick, you are ill, and the manager asks you to do something. Now, do you want to do that? Definitely no, right? That is the reason we are supposed to have this industrial health. The second one here is protect workers against any health hazards arising out of work conditions. The third one is preserve physical and mental of all employees. We need to go with two things here, physically as well as mentally. In India, whenever we get any kind of a disease or whenever we fall sick, any kind of injuries we have, we rush to the doctor. But when it comes to the mental health, we don't want to tell this to anybody because people may feel that we are something else. But here we need to understand, health is of the two types. One is the physical as well as mental. There are people who are physically healthy but mentally they are sick. So both you are supposed to preserve, that is mentally as well as physically. It reduces absenteeism, turnover, injuries and accidents. See here, reduces, the word is what? Reduces. We cannot avoid it, we can only reduce it. The next one, even when we go with this industrial health, even in the colleges and the schools, they give 75% as the attendance minimum. You are supposed to have 75%. So what is that 25% is? Something or the other thing will happen. So we are leaving that 25%. Apart from that 75%, you are supposed to attend the classes. That is the reason they go with it. Why? Because we cannot avoid it. We can only reduce it. And the last one here is to improve the confidence of employees in their work environment. So the more the employer is investing himself in securing the health of the workers feel that these are the allowances, these are the provisions, these are the things which my employer is giving it to me. Now I need to do something for him so that the productivity will be increased. That is what the thing will happen to the employees, and employees will have confidence about the work where they are working for. So these are the needs of industrial health. So we have the next one, that is occupational hazards. So what exactly the occupational hazards are? Now occupational hazards means when you are working in an industry and you get some kind of injuries, some kind of accidents if you go through, we call that as the hazards. Now here when we go with occupational, the first one is occupational hazards are risk of illness or accident in workplace. So occupational hazard means what? When you fall sick while you're working in the industry or the factory or the company, that is what occupational hazard is. Now an occupational hazard is something unpleasant. See, wherever you get injuries or you fall sick, all these are not pleasant, it is unpleasant that a person experiences or suffers as a result of doing their job. When we go and work in these kind of industries where chemicals are used, knowingly unknowingly we inhale those chemicals. If not today, but after a few years, the way I gave an example of Vidhyaashram in Uttar Pradesh, the same kind of a thing, some or other day you will get that sickness, that illness, that diseases. So these are called occupational hazards. So there are 4 types of occupational hazard. The way I have written here itself, you will be able to understand that the first one here we have is chemical hazards, which is by the chemicals in the chemical factories. Biological hazards. Now the pandemic, what has happened, it's all the biological hazards. Next is environmental hazards, and the last one is psychological hazard. Now psychological hazard is all about mental traumas, mental stress, overwork, burden. All these are what? Psychological factors. You are afraid of your manager, again psychological factor. So these are the 4 occupational hazards which I'll be explaining you. The first one is chemical hazards. Now what exactly the chemical hazards is? Wherever we go with any of the manufacturing industry, or when we go with the chemical industry or any kind of an industry which involves chemicals to it, unknowingly, knowingly, when we start inhaling it or when we start using those chemicals, something can happen in the chemical industries. Those hazards, that is, it can be an accident, it can be you can fall sick because you are inhaling those chemicals on a daily basis. You get addicted to it. Again, it is also a chemical hazard. Now, the common chemical substances, please do mark these chemicals here whenever you get these kind of industries to visit. You are supposed to be careful. The first one here is carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide. All these dioxides, if you go with sulfuric acid, again the king of all acids is called sulfuric acid. And all these acids, when they touch your hands, legs, or body part, now what happens is you get that injury. So you should be very, very careful about it. So causes injury to the employee when they are absorbed through skin and inhaled, even inhaling or ingesting. Now here you need to be very careful. These are the things which will be coming in the chemical hazards. So workers may suffer from respiratory diseases. The more and more you are inhaling these harmful gases, what happens to your bronchites? What happens to your lung? Skin diseases you may actually get. There are so many people who are allergic to so many things. Now, when you are using this in a daily basis, what happens is you will definitely certainly get these diseases: allergy, heart diseases, cancers, and neurological disorders. Now, you will get these things if you go with these companies or the industry. But here, so we'll not go to these companies, so we'll not have any kind of a things. I'll tell you here, if human have all the choices to make, he'll not actually go with these chemicals. But still, I'll tell you, business is there. You need to go, you need to work. But what is that? Prevention is better than cure. That is what you are supposed to go with. Next one we have is biological hazards. Now it's all about the viruses, the bacteria, the fungi, which is there in the industries, which will cause you sick. And these are called the biological hazards. So we have these hazards are manifested by diseases caused by bacteria, fungi, virus, insects, even the malaria, dengue, everything is what? Biological hazards. When you are working in the organization, you are supposed to take utmost care of yourself as well as your colleagues. excessive drinking, allergies, brain fever, imbalance, then you have stress and you have strains. All these are grouped into biological hazards. The next one we have is the environmental hazards. The environment where you are working right now, even that is what environmental hazards is. Environmental hazards may include noise pollution. You're working in a factory where they are only producing something. Now you have that noise pollution. There are so many people who have even lost the hearing capacity. Vibration and shocks, even illumination, radiation, heat, ventilation, air and water pollution. See, there are n number of people we can actually go with. The way the scientists who used to invent few of the radiations, even they were dead because of the same radiation, like Madame Curie, right? If you go with those things, again it is all what? Environmental hazards. These hazards cause redness of eyes, genetic disorders, cancer, and so many other things. So you should be very careful. See, human resource manager, just hiring person, training a person, it's not like that. You need to go with the entire human culture, what all can happen, what all you are supposed to avoid. You need to minimize all these things. You should know about these hazards. And the last one is psychological hazard. See, all the three hazards which I told you, that is chemical, biological, and environmental. Somehow you can reduce it, somehow, but this psychological hazard is totally different because human is heterogeneous. You don't know what the person is thinking right now. You cannot predict what the person is doing right now, whether he has stress or he doesn't have a stress, whether he has a pain or he doesn't have a pain, because you will not be able to know, because human is unpredictable. And when you know that he is unpredictable, it is very, very difficult for us to understand what he's gonna do the next. So how much ever possible, you should actually make sure that you will not give any kind of a psychological hazards to anybody in the organization. You will be talking to each and every person very humble. You will see, when I say humble, that doesn't mean that you are requesting the people to actually work for you. It is like you assign the work, but you don't give them stress. But in this competitive edge, in this competitive country, in this competitive business, what really happens here is, we need to go with targets. We need to meet targets. We need to deal with targets. So here the industrial job stress which they get, the job stress caused by various stresses. There can be everything, I'll tell you, from the watchmen till the people who are the managers. You people can get stress if you take it. That doesn't mean you are supposed to give stress. You're not supposed to take stress. You should be happy, and you are supposed to remember this till your life. Do not give priority to anybody to make you sad, to make you angry, to make you happy. If you want to be sad, you be sad. But don't give priority, because the more you give priority to people to make you happy, then you'll be addicted to only those people. When you give priority to those people who want to make you angry, then what happens is, whenever you are angry, you feel that they are the one who are doing it. Whenever they see you happy, they'll make you angry. And the minute you see them, you get anger. So what happened? It's again, you are taking a stress. It's like self-harassment. Don't do that. You should know about psychological hazards. So here, when we go with the stressors such as the task, there are few people who cannot handle task. They cannot work. And role demands organizational leadership. When you get the leadership, what happens is, you want to control everybody. Now, in the start, it is all fine. But after 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, you check your health. You will get blood pressure, you will get sugar, you will get all other kind of a thing. But the major thing is what? Your psychological imbalance will be there. So psychological hazard will definitely happen if you are working in an organization where you are taking stress just like that. So these are the types of occupational hazard. If you have any doubt regarding this, please do call me. I'm always there to help you. Thank you so much. I'll see you when I see you.